What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Lady T, and I am coming back at you with another video. So, I know it's been a long time, and I shouldn't have left you without a tight beat to step two. Okay, for real. So, today's video is going to be about car repairs for the single woman. Most of my videos, if not all of my videos, which aren't many, are geared towards single women because I myself am a single woman and I like to share my experiences or my thoughts and opinions with the hopes to help other sisters who are, like myself, single and may be dealing with whatever it is that I'm talking about or sharing in this particular video or in the particular video. But before I go any further, I would like to give a little disclaimer that my experiences, thoughts, views, and opinions are just that. I highly suggest that you consult with God before you do anything. Again, before you make any decision, you should always consult with the Lord because that way you can ensure that your outcome will be one that is beneficial to you. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Now, for my single sisters, like myself, a single sister, who do not have, or let me back up. For the single sisters who have older model vehicles or high mileage vehicles that are single and don't have a trusted mechanic that they can take their car to, I'm going to share some things that you can do that could perhaps save you some time, frustration, and money. Now, if you have a trusted mechanic, that's great. If you prefer to take your car to a dealership to have it repaired, that's good too. Just as long as you know that that option is going to be more expensive than other options. Now, I myself, again, am a single sister, and I don't have a trusted mechanic or I don't have a regular mechanic that I take my car to. And I do have an older model vehicle, meaning my car is well over 5 years old. I have had my car for 4 years now, and I would consider it to be a high mileage vehicle. Fortunately, I've had some pretty good uh, experiences with high mileage vehicles. Most of my vehicles have been used. My past vehicles have been used, and some of them have had higher mileage than others over the years. But this one in particular is what I would consider a high mileage vehicle, meaning it's over 200,000 miles. Let's see, I purchased this car 4 years ago. Now, in the 4 years that I've had the car, I can say that I have not had to make any repairs up until now. I'm not upset about having to make the repairs now because, I mean, come on, sis, parts are not going to last forever. And a vehicle is only going to be just as good as its owner, meaning the more you take care, the better care you take into your vehicle, the better performance that you will receive for the most part. That may not be true in every case scenario, but for the most part, if you take care of the vehicle will take care of you. And now, I am the second owner of my vehicle. The person who had it before me had it for quite some time before trading it in, and then I came along and purchased it, so I'm the second owner of the vehicle. Now, uh, yeah, I am in the season of repair, and I choose not to take the car to the dealership because I just know that that's going to be a more expensive option in repairing the vehicle, and I don't have a mechanic that I work with regularly. Here lately, I've been taking my car to a commercial auto repair place, which is my local Firestone. Now, there are some pros and cons if you choose this option. One of the pros that I've experienced by taking my car to Firestone is that they give me in and out. I mean, truly in and out. I'm not a very patient person. I know. Pray my strength in the Lord. I'm not a very patient person, and the Lord is working on me with that now. But I'm not very patient, um, and I just cannot and will not take my car to a place for repair, and they take 2 or 3 weeks getting it fixed. That's just not going to work for me. That's just not going to work for my lifestyle. I need my vehicle. So one good thing about Firestone is they will get you in and out and on with your life, honey. They will not have that car forever unless you can't pay for the repair. I don't think they're going to release the car to you if you have not paid for the repairs or the work, but you know, they will get you in and out. Um, Another good thing about Firestone is that, and I bet you they do this at other places, but they give you a printout of recommended work, meaning whatever you're getting done at that very moment. Of course, they're going to do that work, but if they come across something else that needs to be addressed, they will give you those recommendations in writing. It will be listed on your receipt, for the receipt that you obtained from the work that you had done. So that kind of gives you an idea of what you might need to address in the near or far future. So those are some good things about Firestone. Some of the not so good things about Firestone is that they can be expensive as well. They're not as expensive as the dealership, in my opinion, but they can be expensive. I mean, there's going to be an upcharge on the parts for sure. And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about later. That's one of the things that I just recently experienced. There's definitely going to be an upcharge on those parts. And another negative thing, or not so good thing about Firestone, is that they do not accept customer parts, meaning you, the customer, can't bring the part in. They're not going to use it. They're not going to repair the car using the parts that you brought in. Now, one of the things that I've experienced, matter of fact, I'm just going to share with you what happened with me here recently. So, a few months back, I had to replace the starter, which I wasn't upset about. I mean, hey, I have had the car for 4 years. I've driven the car every day for 4 years without any issues, and now, that needed to be repaired. Parts don't last forever. I don't care who built it. If God didn't build it, it won't last forever. And so yeah, that part had worn out, and I needed to get it replaced. So I took it to Firestone because they're pretty close to where I live, and I took it up there and had them to replace the starter, and they did. I dropped my car off that morning, like around 8 that morning, and they had repaired the car by 5:30 that evening. I was able to go pick up my vehicle. I was able to pay and go pick up my vehicle. Now, when I received the receipt for the work that they did, of course, they had some recommendations, which, hey, it is what it is. It's an older model car, so I wasn't too concerned about their recommendations. Now, one of the things they recommended was my sway bar. The mechanic who worked on my car shared that he felt that, in his expert opinion, the sway bar needed to be replaced because it had some give to it. Now, I when the receptionist, when the young lady who was at the front desk explained this to me, I said, okay, that's, I'll address that a little later. And the reason why I chose to address it later was because I really wasn't experiencing any problems with the sway bar. I mean, none at the time. That didn't mean that there was nothing wrong with it. It's just that that problem hadn't presented itself to me. And I was only going to pay for the work that I needed at that particular time, which was the starter. So I told the receptionist, okay, thanked her for the information and told her that I would address that later. So I paid for the repair, went on about my way. Everything was great. And some time went by, maybe about 2 months or so, and lo and behold, I started hearing this sound coming out of the front end of the car when I was accelerating. Um, well, actually, when I was accelerating and when I was braking, but not when I was idling. So I said, okay, what could possibly be wrong with this car now? So, another thing I suggest doing is researching whatever it is that you're experiencing with the car. Um, you don't necessarily just want to trust whatever someone says, just like with with your health, you don't want to just go with whatever the first physician tells you. You want to get a second opinion. You want to research it online a little bit to see, if what they're saying is, lining up with whatever you're feeling. So, if you notice any type of sounds with your car that you haven't heard before, or it's driving different, or something just feels different, or just feels off, it doesn't hurt to research whatever you think you may be experiencing, because here's the deal: we're not mechanics. Well, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a certified mechanic. I know a little bit about cars based on what I've dealt with in the past with used cars, but definitely not enough to consider myself a mechanic by any means. So if you're not a mechanic, it doesn't hurt to Google whatever it is that you're experiencing with the car. So in my case, I was hearing this rattling noise. It was like a rattling noise. And at first I thought it was a wheel bearing. But after doing a little bit of research online, I was like, I don't really think this is a wheel bearing issue after all. So what I did was I referred back to the receipt from the work that I had done some months prior when I had the starter replaced. So I referred back to went through those recommendations. There was like a few other things on there that they recommended. And I was going through those recommendations, doing some research, basically researching the issue, going through those recommendations. And when I came across that sway bar situation, I was like, you know what? That could possibly be it. So I Googled the sway bar, symptoms of a bad sway bar. And I didn't really have to type in the year, make, and model of the car. I just typed in symptoms of a bad sway bar. And lo and behold, the information popped up. And in reading some of it, I recognized that a lot of what I was reading was actually what I was experiencing. So that just for me solidified that I needed to have the sway bar replaced. Now, another thing you want to do is once you think you've narrowed down what's wrong with the car, you want to research the parts. Now, when you are researching the parts, you definitely want to insert the year, make, and model, because not every part fits every car. I'm sure you guys knew that, but just in case you didn't, thought I'd give that to you. You want to research the parts for the year, make, and model of your vehicle. So I did that, and I found out that for my year, make, and model, vehicle, I had one sway bar in the front suspension because I have a front suspension vehicle. Um, I don't have a rear suspension. I don't have a sway bar on the rear. So, um, and I discovered that I needed two sway bar link kits in order to have it repaired. And that's because you don't want to do the driver's side without doing the passenger side, because the two sides were installed at the same time, so they have the same amount of wear and tear on them. So there's no point in getting one fixed, because even if the other's not giving you any problems today or that day, it certainly will not, probably shortly after you get one side fixed. So your best bet is just to get them both fixed at the same time. So I, after diagnosing the issue and after researching the issue, I went on to research to find out how much or what parts I needed and how many parts I needed. So what I needed, how many I needed, and how much these parts were going to cost me. So one thing about Firestone, and I'm just going to double back real quick. One thing about Firestone is that when they give you these recommendations, they price it, the parts, and then the labor, and then the total. So therefore, as far as in the total cost, you'll know how much of that total uh, is for the parts and how much is for the labor. That's a good thing. That's a really good way to give you a breakdown of what the overall charge is consisting of, so that you fully understand what you've paid for. Now, when I referred back to that recommendation form that they gave me, I realized that those parts were really expensive. I knew that they did, upcharge, the parts. Now I knew that, you know, but I didn't realize how much. I didn't realize how much they were upcharging it. So for the sway bar link kits, and again, I need two, they wanted to charge me $52 per kit. Well, I decided to call my local auto parts store. There were two. I called AutoZone and O'Reilly. But before I called those two, I went online and found that, yes, they did have the part that I needed for my car. They actually had the parts in stock. So, um, both, there were two different brand names, but they both came with the same warranty, the same time frame, a year warranty, and they both were the same price. So, same warranty, same price, but two different manufacturers. So now, I found out that the parts at both stores were $19 a piece. Sis, you heard me right. $19. Okay, so Firestone was going to charge the doll $52 per kit. And the doll found out that the parts were in stock at her local automotive parts store for $19. So you know what the girl did? I shouldn't even have to tell you what I did. I ordered those parts. Woo. I ordered those parts. And yeah, because I figured, well, let's see. Am I going to pay $52 per part, per kit? Or am I going to pay 19? Yeah, 19 is going to do it. 19 is going to do it for your girl. So I purchased the parts and I chose to go with O'Reilly simply because they made they made it easier for me to purchase. Um, yeah, because with AutoZone, I would have had to create a customer account. Then I later found out that, you know, you couldn't purchase the parts over the phone. And with AutoZone, yeah, that was with O'Reilly. And with AutoZone, I didn't have to create a customer account. I was able to call them, give them the information for the parts, let them know the year, make, and model of my vehicle and the part that I needed. And once confirmed that they were in stock, I was able to pay it all over the phone using my card. And, I was, I'm going to be able to, after paying for them, pick them up before they closed for the day. Now, so I did that. I purchased the parts from AutoZone, from my local AutoZone, and then I called Firestone back. And this is where it got sticky. I called Firestone back and explained to them that, hey, I was there a few months ago. I had my starter replaced. You guys were kind enough to give me some recommendations. One of the recommendations was to repair the sway bar. And at the time, yes, I declined, but I would like to schedule to bring my vehicle in because I would like to go ahead and address that situation. I would like to get the sway bars repaired. And she was like, oh, okay. It was, again, I don't know if it was the same lady, but it was a lady receptionist. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it was the same lady that was there when I got the starter replaced, but it was a lady. So she was like, okay, cool, we'll get you in. What day works for you? We were talking dates. And then I said, well, here's the deal. I purchased the parts that I need. I already know the parts that I need, and I went on and purchased those parts. This is when sis told me that they could not accept customer parts. Whew. Mm. Sis, now you know what I feel, right? The BS. Okay, so now I said, okay, well, I purchased these parts from the same place that you guys were going to purchase them from. I did not make these parts myself. I did not craft these parts myself. I purchased them from a reputable corporation, Auto Parts Corporation. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the same place that you guys are going to order the parts from. Because here's the deal. I know you guys don't make the parts either. I know you guys don't manufacture the parts either. Meaning, you're going to do just what I did and order the parts that I need. And you're going to order them from the local AutoZone or O'Reilly, whoever you guys have a corporate account with, some type of agreement with. This is what you guys are going to do. So please help me understand this not wanting to accept the customer parts. And she was like, I understand what you're saying, but we offer a warranty on the parts that we put on. And I was like, okay, well, hon, the manufacturer offered a warranty as well, and I'm okay with the manufacturer's warranty. I can do the manufacturer's warranty. I mean, I'm cool with that. So if warranty is the issue, then we really don't have an issue then, because I'm okay. The parts that I purchased do come with a warranty, a manufacturer's warranty. So she was like, I know, I understand, but that's just the way Firestone does. We don't accept the parts. We don't accept the parts that customers bring in. So, and I was like, even if they're brand new parts, because I mean, these parts are brand new. And she was like, yeah, they just don't accept them. Firestone, we just don't do it. So I was like, okay, well, that's unfortunate. Therefore, that's unfortunate because I'm going to have to find another place to have this repair done. So she was like, okay, well, we're sorry, yada, yada, yada. She went through her spiel, like they normally do. We sorry we couldn't help. Have a great day. Cool. You do the same, sis. And that conversation was over. So after that, let me straighten up this camera here. Girl, I'm trying to keep this Christian. Hold on now. Let me fix my clothes because the dollar gotta keep this Christian, honey. Holiness is still right. Can't be up here showing you everything's bad enough. I'm recording this from my boudoir. But you know, girl, gonna keep it Christian, honey, because the Lord does not play with your girl, okay? He is not about them games. And yeah, I don't even want to have that conversation with him. So, let me just keep this Christian up in here. Bear with me while I fix this up here. Okay, so now, yeah. Yep, you caught a girl in her night clothes. Yeah, this is, yeah, you caught a girl at the end of the day. And I'm going to wrap this up because we on 25 minutes and counting. And yeah, I got to wash this makeup off. And besides, I'm shining bright like a diamond anyway. But you know what happens when the Lord give you oil, it's going to come out. So now, so to wrap this up, I ended up calling a place and scheduling the repair. And I made sure that they were willing to accept the customer parts that I purchased. And they were. So in total, I saved myself $62 by researching the situation, researching, diagnosing or somewhat diagnosing, or at least at the most part, understanding what needed to be done to the vehicle, researching the parts, doing the footwork, calling around, making sure that the parts that I needed were available, and calling the mechanic to get it repaired. The good news is that the repair is scheduled for next week, and I can't wait because these sway bar links is driving me crazy, y'all, because they are so noisy. It's noisy, really noisy. So